Welcome back to Next Gen Console Watch, our show following all the news and rumors on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. I'm Ryan McCaffrey, filling in for Daemon Hatfield this week, and this week I am joined, as always, by Max Scoville on the PlayStation side.
Hey, how's it going? In the flesh. This is weird. We're all in the same room for a change.
It is nice. And IGN's community manager here to talk, well, PlayStation and more.
Yeah.
Jada Griffin, hello.
Hey, Ryan.
You're in the on the green side of the room.
That's why I wear green today.
But
I wanted to match.
Works
you know,
out.
I'm filling in for you. I'm going to talk the
everybody.
Xbox stuff.
We're just trading jobs until we have a show, and we'll see how it goes. But no, we're here to talk about a couple things this week, and we want to start with kind of the hot topic, given the timing, and that is Black Friday deals. Surprisingly, there are Black Friday deals. We've been kind of lamenting on this podcast and our own individual specific console podcasts about how there are no price cuts. In fact, there's the opposite.
Yeah.
So, but there actually are some deals, just not necessarily in the, you're still going to pay the same amount of money, but you're just going to get more. That sort of seems to be the deal du jour of Black Friday this year. So, Max, what would you say if I told you could get a PS5 Spider-Man 2 console bundle at Walmart with the game included, obviously, and this is the new slim unit for $500?
That seems straightforward. That's nice, you know?
It's basically, what you're getting. Spider-Man 2 is a packing game, essentially, there, which you could do a lot worse.
You could definitely do it. We have seen some worse bundles throughout the years.
No, that's totally fine. Obviously, it is a bit of it's a little bit of an issue that they decided to announce this new PlayStation that is more expensive than the digital-only model was when it came out. But, I don't know, Spider-Man is a $70 game. And, again, another issue entirely, a whole other can of worms. But, I don't know, I feel like if I didn't have a PS5 and I found that under the Christmas tree, I'd be pretty happy. That's awesome. If I, bought that for somebody else, there are definitely much worse prices to get that for, so.
Yeah, you're right. I can't imagine anybody that opens that up for any reason on a gift-giving holiday would be unhappy.
Anecdotally, I know a handful of people who have, scooped up PS5 specifically for Spider-Man. And, I think they've also gotten trapped in Baldur's Gate. But, it's very much, it's a good, if you haven't, gotten into PS5 yet and you're sort of on the fence about it, this is a good year to do it, There's a lot of good stuff out there, so it's good that there's some deals too to back it up.
Jada, what if I told you that you could get a PlayStation 5 bundled with a Microsoft-owned game?
Yeah, perfect.
For $500, but it works on your PS5. That game, of course, is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, now owned by Microsoft. Same deal. So it's Walmart, and it's $500. You're getting the game for free there.
I mean, I think it makes sense. There's so many people whose only game they buy each year is Call of Duty. That's their game of their for the year. So it kind of makes sense to pick it up in the bundle there. Despite Modern Warfare 3 not being critically reviewed as well as so far.
Hey, that doesn't have Venom, but it has Spawn.
It does have Spawn.
It was created by Todd McFarlane, who also made Venom. So it's basically Spider-Man.
It's basically Spider-Man 2. You're 100% correct, Max. I take back my statement. Buy this bundle. No, but no, I think it's a great bundle. I think it's solid. There's, like I said, a lot of people, their main game every holiday is Call of Duty. Seth Macy, he gets together with a bunch of other dads, and that's their game every holiday season is Call of Duty. So
those Beef Lords do like to shoot it up.
Yes, that is the name of their group. If you see the Beef Lords, just know it's Seth Macy gunning you down.
Yeah. And if you need extra controllers to facilitate those multiplayer sessions, again, Walmart's got some PS5 deals, some legit, decent deals here. Basically every color of DualSense controller, $49.
Which is really good.
That's actually a really good deal. It's like 35% off.
It's like $25 off or something like that.
Yeah, it's not bad
exactly.
Because they're pricey. They got a lot of doodads in there. And I think this is the one where even if you were an early adopter and you jumped on it, your controllers are probably starting to kind of show some age by now. And it's easy. It comes in red, a different color, and it's. Yeah.
And this works for the new, the earth metal colors, right?
Yeah, we've got cobalt blue, volcanic red, midnight black, galactic purple, nova pink, cosmic red, gray camo, starlight blue, and white.
Very nice. I have the galactic purple one, and I also have that awesome neon yellow Xbox controller, and it just makes them look wonderfully opposite, but also very Evangelion. It's a good setup there.
Pivoting to Xbox, not to be left out or outdone, Microsoft themselves is going to be in fact, as of this airing, starting today, they've got some Black Friday deals through their own Microsoft Store. Save up to 50% on some digital games. Save up to 65% on some select first-party games. They specifically say Xbox Game Studios games, which would presumably exclude Bethesda. But that's still, that might be Forza Horizon 5, for instance, or the newer Forza Motorsport, or all kinds of stuff. Up to 67% off on select PC digital games. But then it gets more interesting tomorrow, starting tomorrow, November 18th. $50 off select Series X and Series S consoles. So that's the first even whiff of a legitimate price cut. It's a sale, it's temporary, but it's the first time you've really been able to get a Series X for less than $500.
Which, I mean, I know that sometimes 500 seems like a little too much for some families, and I mean, 450 is not a huge difference, but sometimes that is all that makes the difference, and
it's 10%.
Yeah,
$50 is a game on sale, so there you go.
Exactly.
There's your bundle.
Or it allows you to get an extra controller if you've got 2 kids, or get that Xbox, Game Pass subscription for some, to fill up the void of games.
Or if you live in an expensive to live state, it's basically just sales tax.
There you go.
It's
yes.
like killing the sales tax.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still $50 off. And then $10 off select Xbox wireless controllers. So to say Walmart with the DualSense deals has got Microsoft beat there in terms of the discount on the controller. Yeah. But still, I'm of the opinion that the current Xbox controller is probably the best all-around controller that's ever been made.
You can spend the $10 on AA batteries.
That's true. They will last.
They will last.
How many DualSenses will they last?
I am in a very, very glass house over here. I'm not about to defend the DualSense's battery life.
And I will say a little more fun, maybe a little more fun than that even, is starting on November 23rd. So as we get to, is that actual Black Friday or is that, no, that's Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving.
A free engraving if you purchase the Design Lab, customizable Design Lab version of the Elite Wireless Controller Series 2.
I love my design controllers. I have 2 Xbox Design Lab ones. I have one that's very cotton candy, blue and pink and white, and then I have another one that's like very green and yellow and has like my gamer tag engraved into it. I love it. I did this as a gift for me and my partner like the first or second year because we were playing a lot of Xbox co-op. I was like, this is a perfect way for us, and I got our gamer tags engraved on the front of them. It's a really cool process and gives you a lot of.
Yeah, I feel like this is an especially smart Thanksgiving move because a lot of people are going to be just like, unbuckling their pants and lying on the couch, trying to not talk to relatives, and maybe they have their phone out and they're like, what's the coolest Xbox controller color scheme? What could I write on here? I don't know. I love it. It seems like maybe you're a few drinks in, you've been having, pumpkin pie since 9 in the morning or whatever. It seems like a good, it's a good sort of fidgety temptation there. I don't know.
You're a 9 a.m. pumpkin pie guy?
It's Thanksgiving. There are no laws.
It's true. It is true. Yeah, I've got. I did an Xbox 360 inspired. The exact color scheme.
Oh, nice.
Of the 360 controller. White body with the gray sort of under part there, and the individual colored face buttons, and it makes me happy to look at because it reminds me of the 360, which is a happy time in any Xbox gamer's life. And then pivoting back to Walmart, Walmart's, they want your business this year because on the Xbox side, they've got this bundle for $289. You get the Series S, and I think this seriously is kind of relevant to maybe some PS5 owners out there that they're starting to see the Xbox momentum and might be looking to dip their toe in the Xbox ecosystem through Game Pass. So $289 will get you at Walmart this Black Friday. Series S, an extra wireless controller, so you'll get 2 instead of 1, and 3 free months of Game Pass for $290.
That's a really good deal.
That's a great combo deal for if you don't want to talk to your 2 kids for 3 months.
Right.
Just get that. Just set them up. Just quietly shut the door, and they can figure out who's. A lot of single player games on there too. They'll figure out something. I don't know.
We'll get it done. For the sports fans, pivoting back to, well, actually, it's not even just sports, although Diablo 4 could almost be an esport at this point. There's a Series X Diablo 4 bundle with Madden 24 at Walmart for $489.
I mean, that's hitting that Venn diagram of people who like Diablo, killing demons, and also throwing the pigskin. It's a football day thing. It's Thanksgiving, and if you want to eat a bunch of food, watch football, and then slaughter some demons,
There's a lot of pig skin in both of those
Yeah,
games.
there is definitely. So
One of those games is absolutely outstanding. One of them maybe not as much, but still.
we'll let you guys figure that out, which one is which.
And still going, there's one more I wanted to tell you about, and that is, again, for $489, Walmart Black Friday deal, a Series X with Diablo 4 again, and Modern Warfare 3. So that's hitting a lot of gamers right there.
Yeah, that's your violence turned up a notch. Be ready to just unleash your, burn some calories on the controller after Thanksgiving, just mashing buttons. This is a great one to do it with.
So we've got all these deals lined up for you, just one click away on IGN.com. Head on over. I also recommend you follow if you're on Twitter/X, whatever you actually want to call it, if you follow IGN Deals on that social media platform, that they have literally up to the second. We have an entire team who eat, sleep, and breathe up to the second commerce deals. So check them out.
I've also got a bunch of gift guides up that are really fun for various categories, like Nintendo fan, Star Wars fan, budget, that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, before we get to our usual topic, a poll topic, I should say, there's one other regular show topic here, and it's timely on the PlayStation side, given that Sony, almost maybe too quietly, has they've put out a lot of hardware this generation.
Yeah.
A lot. And I thought we could kind of jump into that conversation with how good and how desirable or not that stuff is based on their latest hardware, not only the PlayStation 5 Slim, and I guess this is a video-only show, so you can see my air quotes, but it's not that slim, but it is a new revision of the PS5, but also the PlayStation Portal, which is something, Max, we talked about on this show when it was first announced, and I think you and I were more or less scratching our heads.
Right.
The reality of that has turned out a little better, and I would love to hear from both of you on those two, and then kind of a broader conversation about Sony's just hardware strategy this generation, because we've got those two. There's, of course, the DualSense itself is a very new product for this generation, a big evolution on the DualShock. The Pulse wireless headset, the PSVR 2, which I've got plenty to say about. The PlayStation Access controller, which is very quietly been a great thing. There's a lot of PlayStation hardware. So let's start with the Portal, Max.
So yeah, I was pretty overtly negative about this thing because I think if you look at it from a distance, it looks like an attempt at a handheld. It looks like Sony's answer to a Switch or a Steam Deck, or you think of it as a cloud gaming device, but it isn't. And I think that's the thing that didn't click for me. It's a controller. And they're calling it a remote play device, but the way it's presented, there's also an assumption that because it's got a screen on it, you can take it on the go, which not really what it's for. We talked to Seth Macy about it. He reviewed it. He gave it an 8 out of 10. He was again, I have a backbone. I have a controller I can pair with an iPad. I have other ways to do this. This is a bespoke, dedicated device to playing your PS5. From a distance, whether that's in the other room or
within
at
the
coffee
house,
shop,
within Wi-Fi range.
No, he played it at the coffee shop.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So he said it works. He said that's when it really clicked, when it became really impressive. And again, it's different from just straight cloud gaming because it is playing off of your PS5. Your PS5 has to be plugged in and turned on. Mm-hmm. It can be in sleep mode, but it's talking to your PS5 directly, not some server.
Yeah, it's streaming the game from the SSD on your PS5.
And he was, obviously, if you run into bandwidth issues, they're going to be issues. But he was really impressed with what he came away with. And the thing that kind of clicked for me is this thing is $200, which, that's cheap for a handheld device, but it's expensive for a controller. But when you look at it compared to the DualSense Edge, you see them. I see them as kind of like an interesting pair, where this is, I think, targeted at. A specific type of casual gamer, whereas the Edge is very hardcore gamers who are all about precision and wanting to customize their gaming experience. This is by definition a casual thing. This is for kicking back on the couch. This is for playing games while you're also watching TV, or I don't know, maybe you take it in the John. I don't know. It's a $200 device. What kind of device you expect it to be will have a lot of input on how you receive it, but that's really the thing that just made it click for me, you know. And it's not a phone accessory; it's a PlayStation accessory. You know, the backbone is a thing you pair with your phone, and it's sort of this weird, kind of jury-rigged approach to doing this. But like, this is a DualSense that has a screen on it. You're kind of paying $200 to turn your PS5 into a PlayStation Wii U, but if that's your cup of tea, then so be it. You know.
I wish I would have made that kind of connection in my brain about being a PlayStation Wii U, because I loved my Wii U. I know it was not like the most well-received console, but I loved it. And I'm kicking myself for like not finishing my pre-order like 2 weeks ago. I put it in the cart, was ready to go. I was like, I'm gonna sleep on this for a day or two, and then I forgot, and now it's sold out, which is crazy, and not what I expected day one from this one. But yeah, no, I love the idea of this. I've tried to do remote play outside my home sometimes with like my backbone, and sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't really work great. And if it's one of those things where it's going to be a consistently better experience through the PS Portal, I'm kind of more hyped for that at that point.
Also, it's not a phone. Nobody's going to email you on it.
That's true.
Like it is a dedicated device to play your video games.
I will still send you PlayStation messages though.
That's fair. Just don't slack me on that thing. But yeah, no, I mean, with the backbone, like obviously, there's Sony has the remote play app, but that's for the phone that some other company makes. It's kind of funny that like, why would they dedicate time to make a thing that works well with the machine that they don't sell you when they could just sell you a machine that works well with another machine you already bought?
Yep.
So how about the rest of the hardware lineup this generation?
So
it's clearly you both are maybe more impressed than you thought you would be with the PlayStation Portal.
I've come around on that one. The Slim is the other one, which is weird. I've again been equally critical of that. It's not a Slim. It's not a PlayStation 5 Slim. They aren't calling it that. We're calling it that. And again, this is a matter of expectation versus reality. And like, I want it to be, like the shrunken PS3
or the PS2 to the PS2 original to the PS2 Slim. Exactly. That level of Slim. This one, I take this as being basically when we got that second generation of PS3, and then they did that third generation of PS3, and it was like, yes, it's smaller, but it's also not smaller. It's in different dimensions. It's weird. Like, yes, it's a refresh.
It's a PlayStation 5.1. Right? Would that maybe be a better way to put it?
I think they actually did themselves a disservice by making it as much smaller as they did. I think they could have quietly been like, hey, it's the same PS5, but it's got a bigger hard drive, which it does. And it's, I don't know.
A little bit.
It's, incrementally. Like it is. It went from, what,
825 to a terabyte?
Yeah. Which is basically bumping it up to, I don't know, PS4 Pro.
I guess that technically is about almost 25%, but it's still, it's not as much as you'd like to see.
Exactly.
For the money, right?
But that's there was the original launch PS1. There were other like little variations. There was one that had like a port on the back that you could put a chip in that let you play burned games. Not that I would know anything about that sort of thing, but like and there's the subtle different SKUs of PSPs and Vitas. Like there's the different upgrades. Nintendo made like a sort of not second gen Switch, not the OLED Switch, but there was the one that had a better battery life. And it had like a slightly different colored box.
And the only way you knew was by like looking at like the barcode on the back of the box. Like is how you had to.
It's one of those, but it's much more publicly advertised in that sense. And I think like to sort of I want it to be like a really shockingly small new designed thing that has like enough of a sort of a flourish to it that.
I want it to be a rhombus. I want it to be rhombus shaped.
Yeah. I don't know. I've not wild about the PS5's design to begin with. I feel like they start to make it a little more angular in a way that I like, but not entirely. So I don't know. But that's on us for griping about it. As for the rest of their gadgets they've been putting out, the sound stuff is interesting. One of Seth's big gripes against the PlayStation Portal is that it doesn't work with Bluetooth, which
seems baffling.
It's just so weird in 2023.
Well, does it just not have any there's not a Bluetooth radio unit in it at all?
We talked about this on Beyond, and I think if it did have that in there, they would have to, like per FCC rules, have to have the little Bluetooth logo somewhere in the packaging, and that doesn't exist anywhere. Okay. So, and it's not a thing you can patch in if there's no hardware there.
So they cost cut. They cost cut on that.
But sort of, because they have their own proprietary wireless technology.
PlayStation Link, I believe.
Right, which works with headphones that aren't out yet, so we can't even speak to how well those work with it. Those look cool. Sony, end of the day, or not end of the day, beginning of the day, Sony makes audio products. They start out making little tiny, transistor radios. They made the Walkman. Yeah. And it's like, this is, Sony is a consumer electronics brand, and PlayStation is the gaming division of it, but obviously they're going to try to sort of have some synergy there. They're going to try to push, the better part of a century worth of experience making things that make cool noises, in that direction. And I looked this up. Bluetooth has been around since 1998.
I would never have guessed that.
Right? I mean, we take it for granted. There's that sort of hesitation to try to upgrade. Like, what's wrong with USB 3.0? What could possibly be better? And it's like, well, I don't know, USB-C. Like, they're constantly making iterations on that, and maybe there's something that this can do through their dedicated wireless tech that can't be done through Bluetooth. But also, come on.
Like my Switch can use my Apple AirPods for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, it took them a minute to
add that in there.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I guess they have been putting out a lot of sort of gizmos and gadgets galore, but like there's also the little old PlayStation VR too. Which,
and that's something you and I have talked about extensively. But Jada, we have not had a chance to really talk because you have one as well.
I do.
Correct?
I do. I have.
And I might be the only two people at IGN that have actually purchased one.
Yes, you probably have more time with yours than I do with mine because mine is still in the box. It's one of those things where I bought it because I saw the intent and what Sony was going for with it, and I demoed it in our office when we had our office unit here. And I love the experience, but they just haven't put out things that I deem like this is worthy of my time of setting this up and having it all rigged up and ready to go. It's also part of the reason why I'm considering getting a second PS5 to have it up in my office so I can have it just kind of in a standalone space. Mostly because I have a cat that loves to chew wires. And in VR, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can't really see what your pets are doing.
In space, no one can hear you scream, and in VR, you can't tell if your cat's eating things.
Exactly.
But there is a pass-through on the outside. You can actually tell.
You can, but you've got to hit a button. And I'm like, I was doing that when I was demoing it. I was like hitting the button every 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, where's Atreus at? Where is he at?
Cat's a ninja, as most cats are.
Yes, exactly.
But like, Atreus is your cat, not you weren't playing God of War.
I was
just to clarify.
Both of those.
Yeah. I know from tweeting about this and from talking with Max on Next Gen Console Watch about this, for me as somebody that spent the money on this thing, I'm profoundly disappointed at the support from Sony. Now, I know the PSVR 2 fans out there would point to there's a number of third-party games out there, and a lot of them are ports of things that have already been on VR on PC, and that's not to mean that they're not great games, but the lack of first-party support from Sony has, as I've said, I've regretted my purchase. I actually wish I could get my money back.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, I love the tech that's in the PSVR 2. They did such a good job with the controllers and the headset and all these other features. It's so great. And again, to your point, it's baffling that we don't have an idea of like, hey, Sucker Punch is actually working on something for this. Hey, Insomniac is working on something. There's just nothing from it. Like, no, it's just quiet on all fronts from Sony about this on their first party stuff for us. I don't even need to know what games these studios are working for. I just want Sony to say like, hey, we have 10 games coming by 2025 from our 12 to 15 first party studios.
We know that Sony was working on how many 10
live games as a service.
It's like that's great, but what is that telling? That's not. I mean, you have a piece of hardware people have bought or would maybe buy. Like, tell them that there's something going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, for the $600 investment.
Reassure people the lights are on. Like, I don't know. It's just it's a bizarre choice. And again, like, it's great that there's third-party stuff on there, but that's good on those devs for throwing their game on a new system, and I guess good on Sony for allowing them to. I don't understand the logic there, but like, Sony made a cool piece of hardware. They should be having their own studios make stuff for it.
For as much as you and I, almost to the point of comedy, kept crying for Half-Life Alyx, it really is. It is about, at this point, it's about the first-party support or lack thereof. Like Horizon Call of the Mountain, solid as a day one launch title.
Yep.
Gran Turismo 7 and a game that's had been out for a year, getting full, complete, 100% VR support.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Experience.
Absolutely fantastic. But yeah, where are the new VR games, PSVR 2 games from Sony's first-party studios. It is baffling.
Gran Turismo 7 in VR reminds me of, it makes me think of Flight Simulator, where it is undeniably technically impressive, but it might not be for you.
Yes.
Like, I think you have holes in your brain if you could look at something like this and be like, this is boring and dumb. But maybe it's boring, but to not be like, it's impressive. It's like a gorgeous, beautiful technical masterpiece. But again, it's like realistic driving. It is a realistic flight simulation. These are not, this isn't what gamers want to play necessarily,
I mean, I would kill for just even smaller experiences. Where's the next Astros game for the VR? Astro is a mascot for Sony that was made off of the VR with Astro's Playroom. Astrobot's Rescue Mission on the VR 1. And now we got Astro's Playroom, which is like one of the best PS5 experiences. Like, give me something like that in VR. Let me just replay Astro's Playroom in VR 2. Give me a VR 2 match for that. Like, that would be so cool. Like,
they just bury little Astro. Like, Astro is the closest thing to like a first-party mascot they have right now. And like, what are they doing with that little critter? Like, there was the Playroom that came with the camera for PS4, and then there was the Robot Rescue, and then there was Astro's Playroom, which came free, and everyone loved it and wanted more.
Where's the more?
Give me a smaller scale Insomniac. Developed by Insomniac. Give me a smaller scale Ratchet and Clank in VR.
Give me another Secret Agent Clank. Give me something like that.
Like, be great.
Yeah.
So we will continue to hold Sony to task for that until they start to deliver. All right, let's go to our poll results from last week. Of course, the new Steam Deck OLED came out. We had asked you last week, do you own a Steam Deck? Just over half the respondents, no, not interested. 52%, no, not interested. An enthusiastic 1/5 of you, 20% saying yes. But a good handful of folks saying, no, I'm waiting for a proper Steam Deck 2, 17.7%. And then 10% of you out there saying, no, but I will get the Steam Deck OLED. This is clearly an awesome version of the Steam Deck. So we've got the review of that on IGN.com now, or youtube.com/IGN if you'd like to see our full review of the Steam Deck OLED. All right, a new poll to vote on. Head to IGN.com now. You're already going there to see all of our Black Friday deals. So, do you plan to buy a console over this Black Friday? Your choices are, of course, yes, I'll be buying my first PS5. Yes, my first Xbox Series. Yes, a Nintendo Switch. Or no, I don't need a new console. Vote on IGN.com today, and we'll share the results with you on our next episode. All right, that will do it for this edition of Next Gen Console Watch. Thank you to both Max and Jada for joining me here in IGN's San Francisco studio. We will return next Friday at the usual time, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, with a special 3-year report card edition of Next Gen Console Watch. These consoles have turned 3, and we will give them letter grades. Have a happy Thanksgiving for those of you in the U.S., and a good weekend for everybody else. See you next time.